What's up and welcome back to another how-to video where I'm going to teach you how to take your Airbnb from blah to luxury with 3 simple quick tips. But first, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the like button on this video, and comment if you have any questions about the content inside of this video. Is your occupancy rate kind of low? Is your guest quality just not that good? Is your revenue not where you want it to be? And if you said yes to any of those questions, then what you may want to consider is transforming your ordinary Airbnb into a luxury short-term rental. Now, here's the thing, it's not very hard to do. There are some simple things that you can do that will transform your space almost immediately and start getting you more bookings, start getting you better quality guests, and ultimately getting you more revenue for your business. Let's jump right into it. So tip number 1. Upgrade your beds. So you have to think about this for a minute. A third of your guest stay is going to be on their backs in the bed. And so this is an area you absolutely want to invest in. Nobody likes, including you, even though you might want to cheap out here, but nobody likes going to an Airbnb or a hotel and you're laying in a hard bed and it is uncomfortable. So you can literally begin transforming your ordinary Airbnb into a luxury short-term rental simply by upgrading your bed. A happy sleep is a happy life. So we actually invest in our beds. It's one of our highest expenses when we are launching a new property. And we actually get guests reach out to us after asking what kind of bed that we have in the Airbnb because they had such an amazing sleep and they want to go buy it. This is the setup that we use. We typically try to put a king mattress in the master bedroom. And then for the remaining bedrooms, we try to put a queen in there. Now, this might vary a little bit depending on how many people you're trying to put inside of your Airbnb, but that is typically our rule of thumb. And then what we do for the actual beds themselves is we will use like a bed in a box, but a little bit higher end. I try to get a bed in a box that's maybe 10 to 11 inches high, okay? And we typically will go with a brand called Bloom. And so what I typically do is I will search for like a medium firmness. I don't want to go too soft and I don't want to go too hard. So medium seems to be that happy medium that works really well. And then sometimes I will use a coil top mattress, but I want one that is a pillow top and one that has about 1,200 coils inside of it. I know that's a lot of jargon, but trust me, getting the beds and the sleep right is 1/3 of the battle. Tip number 2, invest in better quality art. If you want to transform your Airbnb into a luxury short-term rental, then one of the best ways to do that is to invest in some high quality art. I have literally spent thousands of dollars on art for my short-term rentals. And guess what? It is the one thing that I am happy to spend money on outside beds. And the reason for that is because art will literally transform a space. Could you imagine this room right now where I'm shooting this video without that piece of art? No! Right? It would make it look blank. Art transforms any space into whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be contemporary, art can do that. If you want it to be fun, art can do that. And so we, as Airbnb hosts here in my business, is we try to find art that transforms the space into a luxurious feel. We get art that has a gold border. We get art that has, cool little designs like that. We get art, we've had some art that is like, it's almost like it's almost 3D almost. Like it has jewels and stuff on it, but it looks super awesome in the space. I have literally had people like handyman and other people that come to do work on my properties come to me and say, man, the art in this place is amazing. It literally makes it feel like a home away from home. And guess what? That's exactly what we're going for. If you learn anything from me today, do not cheap out on art. It's so important. Look, I'm going to show you some art from our properties. So as you can see, art, it transforms the space. It ties the rooms and the themes of the rooms together, and it instantly makes your short-term rental look luxurious. Tip number 3, stage for a luxury vibe. Listen to me. Do not cheap out on staging, and don't have boring staging. Nobody wants to look at pictures of an Airbnb that is boring. All right. So don't do that. Make your property stand out. Make them look wow. That like when somebody looks at the photos that are on Airbnb, they look at them and they're like, man, I want to stay there. It is so nice. And guess what? It's not hard to do that. It's really just about the little details. Like staging your dining room table. Don't leave it empty. And I've seen people do this on Airbnb where they leave their dining room table empty and it looks blah. No, put some placemats out. Put some napkins inside of those little ring holders. Put a nice centerpiece in the middle of your table and you can transform your dining room for literally peanuts on the dollar. Now, another thing with staging is you just have to keep it simple. You don't have to go overboard with all kinds of furniture. Keep it simple, but keep it elegant and keep it looking like it's somebody's home away from home. So in a bedroom, don't cheap out. So many people, they'll put a bed and one night table. Why? Who wants to sleep with only one night table? Do you go to a hotel and get that? No. Have a night table on each side of the bed. Put a piece of art above the bed, right? Keep it simple. You don't have to stuff all kinds of furniture in there, but have enough furniture so it's functional. You don't want to feel crowded, right? But at the same time, you don't want to feel empty. And you can use things like plants, tall plants, kind of like this, to fill in the space. Speaking of plants, I will actually use plants in unconventional areas, all right? Now, they're not real plants, they're fake plants, but I will put a plant in the bathroom. Oftentimes, I will put a plant on top of the toilet, and I will also put another plant on the counter beside the sink just to fill in the space. Now, it depends on the bathroom. Like if it's a tight bathroom, I won't do it. But man, some of the bathrooms we have, the counters are huge. And if you don't put anything there, it's just blank space. And so I try to stage it really nice. I'll put out a nice soap holder and I'll put soaps inside of it and stuff like that. So when my photographer comes, they're taking pictures of that stuff and it's like, oh, it's such a luxurious feel. I might even put a candle in there, although I don't advise people using them, but I will put a candle in there to give a spa feel. Now I can go on and on and on for days about staging, and I will make some videos that go deep into it. But do not cheap out on staging. Do not go overkill on staging, and do not go under it on staging. Just stage it so it has a luxurious feel. What would you want when you're going into an Airbnb? What would you want to feel? What are the vibes you're going to get? If you cheap out on those things, people are going to sense that, right? And then you're not going to get as many bookings. You're not going to get the quality guest, and your revenue won't be where you want it to be. But if you can transform your space into a luxurious vibe, you're going to attract better quality guests. And in addition to that, you will get booked up more often because people want to stay in places that feel like home. And they want to stay in places that make them say, wow. Quick bonus tip for you. If you really want to wow your guests, then something you may want to consider is adding a unique space. Put something unique inside of your property that makes it stand out from the other properties. So for example, what I have done for 2 of my properties now is I have added an arcade / a games room. And guess what? Those places book up like crazy because there's just a little something extra. So it could be arcades, it could be a pool table, it could be a ping pong table, something that when people are looking at the photos on Airbnb, they're like, oh wow, that looks like a lot of fun. Oh, we have kids, you know what? That will keep them busy and it will give you the edge over your competition. It's actually kind of cool. The other day I had to go to an Airbnb right after a guest checked in. It was just the timing and I had to fix something that my cleaner told me about. And so when I walked in, they literally just got there. And guess what? The kids were playing on the arcades right away. It was like the first thing they did. They're like, oh man, I'm having so much fun. They were laughing. And I felt so good as a host as I walked into that house because I was like, man, this place brings this family joy. And they couldn't stop telling me how amazing the house was. So if you really want to transform your space and you really want to stand out, add a unique space. Maybe it's a fire pit. Maybe it's a pool area. Maybe it's a movie theater. You know, get creative with it. Maybe it's a music room. It could be anything, but add something that's going to be appetizing to people that when they see it, they're like, wow, I really want to stay there. So there you have it. If you really want to transform your space from an ordinary Airbnb to a short-term rental that makes people go, wow, then you'll want to upgrade your beds. You'll want to upgrade your art, put luxury art in there. You'll want to do a really good job on your staging. And then the little bit of secret sauce, that's what I like to call it, is add a unique space. But that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, put them in the comment section below. Please subscribe to this channel and like this video. We will see you in the next one.